Have you ever had one of those dreams that felt so real, you could touch it, smell it, taste it? You wake up, heart pounding, and for a split second, you're not sure which world is the genuine article. What if I told you that this feeling isn't just a fleeting moment of confusion? What if it's a clue to the very nature of our existence? Today, we're diving deep into a question that has haunted thinkers for centuries. Is reality just a dream? Now, before you dismiss this as late-night philosophy, let's look at what cutting-edge science has to say. We often think of science as the ultimate reality checker, the one thing that can give us concrete, objective answers. But the deeper we peer into the universe, the stranger it becomes. Take quantum physics, for instance. It's the most successful and rigorously tested theory in all of science. Yet it tells us that at the fundamental level, reality is, well, weird. Particles like electrons don't have a definite location until we measure them. They exist as a cloud of probabilities, a wave of potential. The very act of observing seems to collapse this wave and force the particle to choose a position. Doesn't that sound a bit like a dream, where things only become solid and defined when you focus your attention on them? The famous double-slit experiment is the perfect example. When we're not looking, particles behave like waves, passing through both slits at once. But the moment we try to peek and see which slit they go through, they act like solid particles and pick just one. It's as if the universe knows it's being watched. The observer isn't just a passive bystander. We are active participants in creating the reality we experience. This idea, known as the observer effect, blurs the line between mind and matter, between the internal world of our consciousness and the external world out there. Think about it. In a dream, your consciousness is the author, the director, and the audience all at once. The dream world feels completely real because your mind is generating it. What if our waking reality operates on a similar principle? What if the universe is not a collection of dead, inert objects, but a projection of a vast, universal consciousness? This isn't just some fringe idea. Esteemed physicists like Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, have hinted at this. He said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." In other words, the physical world we see might not be the base reality. It could be an experience happening asterisk within asterisk consciousness, just like a dream. Now let's switch gears and look at our own brains. Your brain is a master storyteller. It takes a chaotic stream of sensory data light hitting your retina, sound waves vibrating your eardrum, and weaves it into a coherent, seamless story we call now. But this story is a reconstruction. There is a slight delay between an event happening and you becoming aware of it. Your perception of reality is always a moment behind the actual event. Furthermore, your brain fills in the gaps. You have a blind spot in each eye where the optic nerve connects, but you don't see a black hole in your vision. Why? Because your brain expertly papers over it, using information from the surrounding area to create a plausible image. It's constantly guessing, predicting, and constructing. So, the reality you experience is not a direct, unfiltered feed of the outside world. It's a high-definition simulation generated by your own neural hardware. If our brains are so good at simulating reality, how can we be absolutely sure that what we're experiencing right now isn't a simulation? The philosopher René Descartes famously wrestled with this, concluding with, "I think, therefore I am." He reasoned that even if everything he perceived was an illusion created by a deceptive force, the very act of him doubting his own existence proved that his consciousness, the I that was thinking, must exist. But it doesn't prove that the world outside his mind is real. This brings us to the simulation hypothesis, popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom. The argument is simple. If a civilization becomes advanced enough, they will likely create incredibly realistic simulations of their ancestors. If they run many of these simulations, then the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the one base reality. Statistically speaking, It's therefore more likely that we are living in one of those simulations than in the original base reality. We could be characters in a hyper-advanced computer game, and our entire universe, from the laws of physics to the feeling of the sun on your skin, could be lines of code. This sounds like science fiction, but it elegantly addresses some of the weirdness we see in physics. The quantized nature of reality, the fact that things come in discrete packets, could be like the pixels on a screen. The speed of light could be the processing speed limit of the cosmic computer running our simulation. But let's step back from technology and into the realm of pure experience. Many spiritual traditions have talked about this for millennia. In Hinduism, the concept of Maya refers to the illusion or the deceptive appearance of the physical world. It's seen as a divine play, a cosmic dream projected by the ultimate reality, Brahman. Similarly, Buddhist philosophy teaches that our perception of a solid, separate self and a permanent world is an illusion born of ignorance. The goal of enlightenment is to awaken from this dream of separation and realize the true nature of reality. These ancient traditions and modern scientific theories seem to be converging on a similar, startling conclusion. The world as we perceive it is not the full picture. It's more like a user interface, an icon on a desktop. The icon for a file isn't the file itself. It's a simplified representation that allows us to interact with the complex code underneath. In the same way, space, time, and physical objects might not be fundamental reality. They might be the interface that our consciousness uses to navigate a much deeper, more complex level of existence that we can't directly perceive. So what does this all mean for us, living our daily lives? If reality is a dream or a simulation, does that make our lives meaningless? Absolutely not. In fact, it could mean the opposite. If we are co-creators of our reality, it gives us an incredible sense of empowerment and responsibility. Your thoughts, your focus, your intentions, they might be far more powerful than you realize. They could be the very tools that shape the world you experience. Think about the placebo effect, where a person's belief in a sugar pill can cause real physiological changes. The mind's expectation literally changes the body's reality. This is a small-scale example of mind influencing matter. What if this principle applies on a much grander scale? This perspective encourages us to be more mindful, more intentional. It invites us to question our assumptions and to explore the inner world of our consciousness with the same rigor we apply to the outer world. Maybe the greatest discoveries aren't out there in distant galaxies, but within ourselves. Ultimately, we don't have a definitive answer. Science can't, as of now, prove or disprove that reality is a dream. But the very fact that the question is plausible, that is supported by clues from both quantum physics and neuroscience, is mind-boggling. It shatters our ordinary common-sense view of the world and opens the door to infinite possibilities. Perhaps the point isn't to find a final answer, but to live in the mystery. To appreciate the beauty and strangeness of this experience we call life, whether it's a base reality, a dream, or a simulation. To treat each other with kindness, because we might all be characters in the same cosmic story, dreamed up by the same universal mind. What do you think? Is this all just a fantastic dream? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Thanks for joining me on this journey down the rabbit hole. If you enjoyed this exploration of mind and reality, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay curious,